This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world, according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. Cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
Episode 199.
Man, dude.
How fucking weird is that?
It's crazy. Genuinely crazy.
Yeah, you've been here a while, bro.
I clocked in, like, I don't know, at least 2 years ago, and it's like, oh, well, I should probably take a lunch break at some point, right? Like, I should probably stop and eat, maybe?
Yeah.
Sometimes,
yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Get like a gold watch or something.
Some kind of congratulatory item.
Some kind of trinket.
Will we, like that Step Brothers scene, like, will we receive anything for coming to the interview today? Man.
They wore tuxedos to an interview.
It requires you to clean bathrooms.
Did you fart?
I don't know. I'll do that sometimes with the kids. I'll fucking rip one and they're like, "Did you fart?" I'm like, I don't know.
I'll fart around Mrs. Meanie.
Yeah.
She went, "Did you fart?" Like, I'll let out silent one. And she goes, "Did you fart?" And I'll just be like, just give it like the petrified, like, "Oop, you caught me," look.
Did I?
Yeah.
Good Lord. It's crazy. Yes. I was just looking back at our feed here, at our platforming. I was trying to get the right episode that I started with you. My very first episode hosting the Mind of the Meanie was episode 73. All the way back in August. It was August 16th of 2021 was the very first time. I was still in Pittsburgh. I was still living there. And we did a handful of episodes after that. And then episode 93 looks like was my very first official start here, which is, and now we're in 199, which is just like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah. But it's awesome though, too. It's awesome that people are still listening and that, again, like we say,
important part.
That's the important part. People are still downloading and listening, which is super cool, right?
And we still have our pod squad over at patreon.com/mindofthemeanie, which means the world.
Yes.
Because that's an investment.
Yep.
It's very cool, man.
Everything.
And it helps the show. I love, while we're doing the show, we're looking over at the chat and people are have a conversation. It's a community we've tried to build here,
It's really cool because, like I said, we have the shows, and you should, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, like Blue, if I may call you Blue, as a form, more informal, right? How do I be a part of this? You can go to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie right now and sign up today. And then you get to be a part of the pod squad for just $10. And you get to watch us record live. And you get to be a part of the hallway chats and the green room shows. And you can see what we're doing in here. And it's super dope.
It's fantastic.
It's amazing.
Fantastic.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, man. But yeah, just I can't believe 200 is next week.
Yeah, dude.
We have some cool things. We were discussing in our pre-green room meeting of what to do during the show. Or we got a lot of cool. A lot of people have sent in some well wishes.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, there's like 30, almost 40 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And some really cool names involved.
Yeah.
And there's still more to come. So we're just trying to figure out, do we do a full episode where we talk and then just play clips, or, save the clips for the end like a PS? Because I think the well wishes go for another good half hour, 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. There's a
some
lot.
Are, direct. Some are direct and some are pretty funny.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I'm still waiting. There's some people who said they were going to send some men. But I understand people are busy.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to be that guy. Just
I've reached out a couple of times, and like I said, we are like, I feel grateful that I've been able to do this show and become a part of this world and become close with you, and just like, it's amazing that we do these things, right? And some of the names that have sent us stuff, like I'll text Meanie because I'm a fan at heart, right? And I'll get we'll get the uploads. It's like, holy shit, I can't believe this person just sent something, and it's just it's cool. Like, it's cool to see that, and to know that, like, these people are supportive of what you're doing, and like, they listen to the show, and it's cool. So we're really excited to bring that to you. We have a fun start of the show clip we're going to play as well. From a friend of ours that we've spoken about multiple times on the show. She did something fun for us a while back, and we thought it would be prudent to start the show with that. But yeah, we're excited. Episode 200 is coming next week, so stay tuned. And then the Pod Squad, and again, Patreon, you're going to get a fun bunch of exclusives from that just for you in the Patreon group. So if you haven't signed up today. Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie, and we'll show them there. So, Meanie, like I said, at the top of the program, it's great to be here with you today. I was not sure if I was going to see you live and direct today because of this fucking crazy weather we have. I want to make sure.
Has it reached you?
So not yet today. I'm looking out the sky here, and it's dark as shit on the other side over here. But we were out of power earlier in the week for, I think it was a day and a half.
Wow.
And then the power went out yesterday when I was at the office. Mrs. Goober reached out as she was painting, and she said, yep, the power just went out again. So I'm fully expecting for a power outage again, which would not be the first time that's happened here on the program. But I know it was bad. It was really, we lost everything in the fridge, and it was the shits. But did you guys lose power? Did you guys have any more Vine Street expressway floods over there? Nothing?
The Vine Street didn't flood this time like it did that one time where see people doing cannonballs off the overhead.
So jealous. I wish I could have done it.
Ooh, I don't need. Hopefully, those people had open wounds.
Ooh.
I just
got hands growing out of their fucking foreheads now, dude.
God knows what's in that fucking water, what's lurking.
Oof.
Just a fucking mud shark.
Oh, God. It's got a shark with a giant fucking, like...
You got to figure that, like,
Jimmy Stewart
sewage
teeth
would fucking back into that, just fucking... If there's, like, a sewage, like a backup line, backs up.
Yeah.
It's full of turlet water, just fucking... the words of Archie Bunker, the turlet, but...
God, I can't even... All the sewer lines probably... I would imagine probably backed up because you figure like there's grates and shit that are down there, and if Vine Street flooded that high, like that's
brutal.
That's a huge fucking. I mean, that was all the way up to the top of the fucking overpass there. Like that was a significant flood.
Yes.
So there had to have been all kinds of nasty going on, and I can't even look. The thought of thinking about what Philadelphia sewers look like.
Yeah.
Rip my skin off real fast. I'll be right back. We swam in a retention base one time. Did I tell you that story?
What's that?
I swam in a retention base one time during Hurricane Floyd.
No.
So it was like 97. And my brothers and I, we lived in Newtown in Bucks County. And across the street from us was this big retention base. It was like where the sewers and everything dumped out, right? And so the whole area flooded over there. And me and my brothers and a couple of our friends, Tyler Glass, who is Todd Glass's nephew, the comedian, he lived down the street from me. And so he came over and a bunch of our friends and we're like, all right, well, let's fucking do something. It's pouring rain. We got let out of school. We were out of school for a couple of days because the storm was so bad. And we're like, all right, let's go to this fucking retention base and swim. And we went in and we fucking swam in what was probably raw sewage. And my mother came home and she fucking hit the roof. Jesus Christ, get the fuck out of that there. What are you guys doing? You're crazy. She made us stand outside, and in the fucking pouring rain and wind, she was spraying us with the hose, and she wouldn't let us come back in. She was like, go to the garage and fucking throw all your clothes away. Go upstairs. Don't touch anything. Put these bags on your feet. Oh, my God, dude. I was like, what was I thinking?
before you turn into a chud. Here, you fucking chud.
The good news is I wasn't sick for like 4 or 5 years afterwards. Like I never caught anything. But no, that was a really stupid idea, and I don't recommend anyone doing it. But yeah, that was.
Yeah, it's funny. George Carlin talks about swimming in the Hudson River. He's like, yeah, we swam in raw sewage. We had the immune system. Oh man,
the polio never stood a chance. We were tempered in raw shit. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. Speaking of George, let's jump into that real fast that you sent me. I know that's been very controversial. Our friends at the Dudesy podcast, shout out to Will Sasso and Chad Coltgren over there at the show. If you don't listen to Dudesy, you should definitely do so. Even if it's just to listen to Will Sasso do the Jesse Ventura impression while he pitches products.
Jesse Ventura.
Hostess is proud.
Like I watch, that's like part of Daniel's bedtime routine now is to watch the Hostess Ding Dong Eat-a-thon clip. But anyway, you should definitely go out of your way to watch that. But
Friends of the show.
But they did a clip recently, or did a bit where Dudesy, which is the AI machine that runs the show that does the prompts, created a quote unquote brand new George Carlin comedy special. I want to ask you if you've listened to it yet, and then we can sort of pull this apart. And did you get a chance to listen to it? Meanie.
Yes, sir.
Fantasy football champs as well. Our friends at Manscaped want to congratulate you on making it to the 2024 playoffs. As for the rest, well, the fantasy gods have spoken, and it's time to shave off that didn't make the cut playoff beard. No more hiding behind facial hair. Embrace the clean slate with Manscaped's Beard Hedger, because nothing should be as unruly as your failed trade strategies. Embrace victory and join the 10 million men who trust Manscaped with our special offer. Go to manscaped.com and use promo code MindMeanie for 20% off and plus free shipping. Meanie, I want to ask you about your first impressions of the Beard Hedger and how it's helped keep the Meanie beard looking fresh and spotless.
The Beard Hedger has been a game changer. I'm known worldwide for this beard, and the Beard Hedger helps me keep it neat, keep it clean. I got my own custom settings for the guard, so I could get the same exact cut each and every time. I love the Beard Hedger, and I don't know where my life has been without it.
And I know that I have enjoyed it very well. Keeps the goober beard looking nice and tight here as well in between my visits to the barbershop. So gentlemen, tidy up your act with a clean shave before you draft your way to redemption next season. Manscaped is the ultimate franchise player to take your face to the end zone with the new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. This package has made it easier than ever to craft your signature look and is a premium beard sculpting machine. It features the Beard Hedger cordless trimmer. It has one guard with 20 different lengths, 20 Meanie, and it's waterproof. That's right, no more drawers full of 20 different guards. Shower shave as much as your heart desires. Don't just shave, indulge in the liquid luxury. Our kit includes specially crafted formulations to keep your beard looking brilliant. And lastly, Meanie, as a bonus, Manscaped has thrown in a beard accessory pack that comes with the beard brush, beard comb, and beard scissors for the finishing touches every modern bearded gentleman deserves. So get 20% off plus free shipping by using our promo code MindMeanie at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com and use promo code MindMeanie. Get ready for fantasy football off-season like a true grooming champion with the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. You're not just shaping your beard, you're crafting a winning look. Manscaped.com. Use promo code MindMeanie, and we want to thank them as always for sponsoring the program.
I definitely listened to it. And it was kind of scary.
Yeah.
Look, it's computer generated. It's not going to be perfect. There's certain things that were just like, oh, okay, that's computer,
Yeah.
because it's like a combination of like all his voices, kind of, But and I can understand. His daughter Kelly has come out and has been against it. And I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's her father, his legacy. She's the, the keeper of his legacy, and how it is seen, and this is unauthorized, but
Mm-hmm.
as a fan of George Carlin, it's like Van Halen's my number one band.
Mm-hmm.
But goddamn, if somebody puts unreleased songs out, I'm going to listen to them and I'm going to enjoy them. And this is kind of weird because it's not George. He didn't write this material, but it's pretty darn close, to something he would, material he would do.
Mm-hmm.
And, being a studier, like I like to study other performers. I like to study like what they do, like get a feel for it. Like, the other night, me and Mrs. Me went to see Jeff Dunham over at the Wells Fargo Center. And he's hilarious. But the whole time I'm watching him, I'm watching the inside baseball stuff, trying to, figure shit out. And I've done that with George for, since I've heard him. I first heard him in 1983, I think. So, like, I'm listening to this AI George Carlin special, and the set structure is pretty darn close.
Yeah.
To like, the start, the middle, and what I usually refer to as the go home in the set. It's kind of like when you're flying somewhere, and you can feel the descent of the plane start to happen.
Yep. Exactly what you're talking about.
Right, yep. We're starting to land. You could kind of feel that in a set. Any comedian set. And having watched George, more than half my life, you could tell the go homes. The go home sequences. So this artificial intelligence, this computer, did a fairly good job. And this is the second one Duty's done. They did one with Tom Brady.
With Tom Brady?
They did a Tom Brady one, which got a cease and desist.
Really?
Yeah. Ooh, and that was bizarre, but he did like 3 hours worth of comedy within an hour because like it wasn't taking a breath.
Right. Right.
But with this George Carlin one, they put in an audience and there was pausing and stuff like that. And it felt as close as you probably get to a real one.
Yeah.
And of course there's, the people are like, oh, this is a disgrace and this and that. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
The only person who has, I saw somebody say, this is disgusting. It's just like, there's been a lot of overreaction.
Mm-hmm.
The only, I've seen reactions from total strangers that you should be reserved for his daughter. Just
yeah.
But I understand where his daughter's coming from. That's her father,
right?
And that's the legacy she's trying to preserve. But it's a glimpse into the future, I'm thinking.
Yeah. And I know we've kind of touched on AI stuff here before on the show, but it in some aspects, and it's weird to make this comparison in my brain, but it's the first thing I thought of. It was, and I think I've mentioned it before, but the R&B singer Aaliyah, I guess it was about 2 years ago or 3 years ago now, they released what sounded like a recording that she recorded into like a boombox. And I can't play it on the episode here, obviously, because we'll get flagged from YouTube for that. But I'm just trying to pull up the name of the record now. But it was. I mean, to be honest, it was poorly done, right? Like it was not something that sounded like it should have ever been released. It was not something that should have been pushed out. It wasn't mixed in. Oh, it's called Poison. That's the name of it. It was 2021. I understand the thought process of wanting to release and listen to material from people that are no longer alive, right? Obviously, as we've talked about before, Prince has an extensive vault. Michael Jackson has Tupac. They all have extensive unreleased vaults of music that have not been heard by the public. I think my issue with the Aaliyah song was the fact that they spun it and made it like really, it was just really unpolished the way they released it. And then they released it again and it almost sounded like it was worse. Like there's a specific audio sound. It sounds like it's like fluttering back and forth in your ears. And it's like, why is this happening, right? I say all that to say that I got some of those feelings listening to the Carlin special where it was like, this is unnatural, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's only because I say unnatural. I didn't have a reaction to it the way I've seen some of these people on Twitter have reactions to it, which again, Kelly should be the one responding in that regard, right?
Yes.
As a fan of a lifelong fan of his work, you know, I didn't have that visceral of a response to it. It was just like, oh, this is unique. You know, this is interesting.
Yeah.
But it definitely felt like there were parts where it was like, this is odd, you know, like this is odd to listen to. And, and again, to be fair, like when you're watching Will Sasso and, you know, the clip is online where they actually like when Dudesy plays it for the first time, both of them look genuinely uncomfortable listening to it too. Like Will is seems very disturbed by the whole thing. But, I do agree with you. I think that it is definitely going to be the future with a lot of things that come out from maybe not so much like dead celebrities or comedians that are no longer here, but like other avenues, you know. What was the thing they did with Anthony Bourdain? We talked about a couple of months ago where they had that documentary and they AI generated his voice reading from like a journal or an entry that he put in before he died. And it was like, I don't know where we're going with this and like what are the ethical implications of all of this. And so, but again, like, you know, at the same token though, as a Carlin fan, I'm also like, oh, this is fucking dope. You know, like the idea of like hearing something in 2024 that George Carlin may or may not have done. Yeah. You know, like it was very close to that. So,
speaking of like unauthorized things, so there's a guy who had put out an unauthorized Van Halen documentary of the Roth era. It's like maybe a 4 or 5 parter, and during that he took clips from interviews like Dave had done and running it through an AI in Dave's voice, and that was kind of interesting. Like when it comes to AI, there's stuff I wouldn't mind. Like if somebody did an autobiography and you wanted to use AI to make like an audiobook version of it in that person's voice, you know, that would be pretty cool. You know, there's a lot of books that haven't been done as audiobooks. So if you just run it through and, you know, make something that wasn't previously available. Yeah, of course, you know, hopefully, you know, it's officially done through, you know, whoever did it. But I would love to hear that, you know. I would love to hear an audiobook in somebody's voice. You know, there's a lot of, you know, get the Bret Hart book. Yeah. You know, and just run that through there or, you know, just different things. You know, there's different things I'd love to hear done through AI. But trying to create new material, like if you do AI with previously released, you know, like transcripts of interviews, autobiographies, stuff like that. But to create new material, like somebody did like there's an AI Eminem song that came out or something like that.
Yeah, about cats or something they did, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, just there's definitely going to be a lot of debate in the future. There's going to be a lot of utilizing AI in the future. Yeah. It's going to be a ethical debate about it. And it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. I mean, obviously there's, you know, a lot of things you need humans for. Right. And I'm not sure if a computer, you know, again, that Carlin thing was kind of close. Yeah. I was pretty good. I mean, I was legit like, I legit laughed at some stuff.
Yeah. And me too.
Yeah. but it was also just like, and it was kind of current.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
which is crazy, right? Like Jeff Bezos and like some of the other things he was talking about. I was like, oh my God, like this is, it's like a mind fuck in some ways where you're like, I can't believe that this is happening right now, where this is like this voice, right? Even though it's not his voice, but it's still like close enough based on the tempo and the tone and tenor and way he projected and things. It's close enough that it could possibly be him. But you brought up a good point where you were talking about previously like written or recorded material. I see what they did with the new Beatles song, the Now and Then record. I see that as a completely acceptable version. And when I say acceptable, right, everybody has their own boundaries and ethical lines and things. And I'm certainly not saying anything about or giving any judgment on the Carlin documentary with that context. What I'm saying is, in my mind, if you have a record that John Lennon produced or wrote 40 years ago, that's just
or a demo.
Or a demo, right? A demo that he recorded into a tape deck, and you're able to finish that record. You know, I mean, and the story's out there. Like they worked on it when they did those records in the 90s when the three of them got together, and they couldn't finish it. They were like, it's just not possible, right? And so then they were able to layer everything, all the work they had done, all four of them together, and they were able to release this brand new song based upon this super advanced AI machine that they were able to use and the system that they used. So in my brain, I'm going, I would love to hear that stuff, because that's actually them saying those things or singing or any of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
The Carlin thing, I don't necessarily believe is as insidious as some of the other things that are floating around online with AI. Like I'm sure between the two of us, we've seen some weird shit. But I think it definitely does open up that conversation where you're like, where's this going to go? You know, but again, like the other part of me enjoyed it. You know, the other part of me was like, this is cool. Like this is a fascinating look into the scope of what potentially could come. So, yeah,
I'm definitely interested. And there's people who warn about how AI can be dangerous, especially if you're going to do like deep fake stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's dangerous shit.
Make a world leader say something they didn't say. And then before somebody fact checks it and goes, oh, that wasn't real. Somebody has a knee jerk reaction and starts a war or something like that. There's a lot of there's a couple crazy things that can happen, but like Will Sasso says on Duty, you want to solve the problem to AI? Just pour water on it.
He's right.
Just pull the plug.
Yeah, it's done.
You know,
Then it's over.
It's kind of like what's that movie? Space Odyssey. I'm now 2001: A Space Odyssey. You know, Hal the robot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're getting to that point. You know.
It's certainly possible, but the one other thing I was going to mention something else, and it just slipped out of my mind about the AI. Oh, that's right. And I know I've mentioned this on the show before, but before we pivot, if you're watching an AI, what you think might be an AI video, this is lessons from Goober here, Professor Goober in the house. I want Goober you. You've signed up. This is actually part of the Patreon signups. You get free unsolicited advice from me, which I'm sure everyone loves. But your face. So if you look at their mouth, look at the mouth of the person who's speaking in the video. If it looks unnatural, because there are muscle movements and things that happen with your mouth when you're actually speaking, as opposed to somebody who is AI generated. And that's the dead giveaway for me every single time. When I watch something, I'm like, right there. Like within the first 3 seconds, I'm like, that's fake. Like that mouth is fake. I know.
Who played Superman, the last couple of Superman movies?
Oh, God. Henry Cavill.
There was something where he was playing Superman, and then he went on to do another movie, and he had to grow a beard for the movie.
Yeah, a mustache.
They wanted him to refilm it. He's like, oh, I can't shave for this part. So they tried to do some kind of AI to cover his mustache, and it just looked weird.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said, look at the mouth.
Yeah.
It's like, you said that, and it just reminded me of the whole Superman thing where dude couldn't shave his, mustache for the reshoots, or he would lose his other gig.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it just looked weird. But yeah, that's where we're going. What's his name? Die Hard. Who's starring Die Hard?
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis just signed over his likeness for like future stuff, for like when he's gone.
Really?
I don't know if it's just his voice or his likeness, but he signed it over. So like even when because I think he knew I think he has dementia now.
He's got some form of like really aggressive dementia. Yeah.
Yeah. So he wanted to take care of his maybe take care of his family. For once the dementia worsens, so to speak. So he signed over his digital likeness. I forget I think to a company in Japan. So, and then this is where we're going.
Yeah. So you said in pulling the plug, I want to pivot back to that because this has also been a topic of conversation on Twitter recently, and I wanted to get your thoughts as someone who's been in professional wrestling. The past two WWE shows, each of them have had matches that have been ref stopped due to a bump. So on Monday Night Raw, Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser of Imperium were in a tag team match against Kofi Kingston and Jey Uso. And Vinci was jumping off the top rope and took a really nasty hit from Kofi, which looks accidental, and slammed his head real hard on the mat and was knocked unconscious. Yeah. Very obvious what was happening. The ref threw the X up and they rung the bell and the doctor jumped into the match. And last night, obviously, as a timestamp, today is Saturday the 13th of January. Last night was Friday Night SmackDown, and a similar instance happened with Austin Theory and Carmelo Hayes, where they tried to do a Spanish fly. It botched. It looked like actually Austin Theory. I thought he broke his neck for a minute. That's how he landed.
I haven't not seen this, but yeah.
And they both got their bells rung. And it turns out, obviously, afterwards, the ref threw the X up. They stopped the match. The doctors jumped in. Grayson Waller was actually in the ring with them, checking on him. It was pretty ugly, man. It was an ugly the I wanted to get your thoughts about, because I know there's been talk about ref stoppages and things like that. I wanted to get your perspective on how, the future of wrestling looks with things like that happening in real time.
Hey, good on them for looking out for the wellness of the wrestlers. I've definitely had my bell rung during the match, which is you don't want to say, people say, back in the day, if somebody got a concussion, they say they got their bell rung, but I know I've definitely hit my head. Mm-hmm. I don't know if to the degree where I've gotten a concussion, because I never sought out medical treatment for it,
Yeah.
But I could think of at least 2 times where I've done a bump off the, second rope and dinged my head and, got, dizzy. I wish somebody could have, stepped in, but back in those days, you had to work, you had to power through.
Right.
But with this, I like it because it's it protects the worker, and B, it also adds an element of realism.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me, think that they should start working in some worked ones as well. It's kind of, in reality, in any kind of combat sport, there's ref stoppages, whether it's boxing or MMA and stuff like that. And they've done that in the past, like the one Starrcade was a Flair Dusty, where they had Joe Frazier do the ref stoppage because too much blood.
Yeah.
It kind of, I think that was Starrcade 84. That's like the earliest one I can remember where they did a ref stoppage. Which means if you're willing to do that, if you're going to start doing ref stoppages for shoot things, you kind of have to start toning down certain things, other things you do.
Yeah.
Because it's going to confuse people,
Mm-hmm.
you stop a match because a guy took a bump and slammed his head. Awesome. I mean, not awesome that he is. Awesome you stop the match.
Right.
But now if you have somebody go through a table, like go through the ref's table, and the ref just stands there and does this, go for the standing 10 and not check him and not stop the match. People are going like, well, they stopped the match on a simple bump, but on this big spectacular thing, the ref didn't give a shit,
Right, yeah.
You're going to have a little bit of confusion there, and, it's something they're going to have to, I would like to see them work through, just to say, hey, if we're going to do ref stoppages for shoot, we got to have to, like, tailor some of the things we do going forward with, going through the announcer's table or going through tables and stuff like that. Have the ref dive out of the ring and check on them after something like that and go, okay, he's fit to continue kind of thing,
Right. Some kind of signaling or something that they do to indicate that they're okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw the tag one from 2 weeks ago with the Imperium guys, and the crowd seemed a little confused. To the trained eye, you saw what happened, but to the the fans were just like, oh, what, huh, what? And then I don't know if they showed the replay to explain what happened, but down the line, you're going to have to start doing the same safety protocols when it comes to bigger things like I said, going through the announcer's table or going through a table or going off a ladder. Have the ref dive out and do the same protocols in a work sense, or shoot sense to see if he really did get hurt. But you stop the match because a guy took a bump, but like a guy goes through a table, you're just going to stand there and go, all right, get back in the ring. 1,
right,
2. It's like you have to balance it out.
Yeah, and I think that comes with time. It feels very. It more so recently than ever, like it feels like they're stopping or they're doing the ref stoppages more now, maybe under the Hunter regime or maybe just because they've become more, I don't know, I don't want to say
with the merger.
Right, maybe that's part of it. It's like maybe because they have new protocol and because it's a UFC, style company, that could have something to do with it. I definitely think if it were me, I would have done the same thing. And, after watching the Austin Theory, Carmelo Hayes bump last night, like if you get a chance to check it out, it's on Twitter. That was definitely an ugly bump. And it's like, well, if he came down, if we all saw his neck bend that way on TV, I can't even imagine what it looked like to the referee. And the fact that they collided their heads together, it's like, fuck, you got to stop. And the fact that to be fair, like Grayson Waller was concerned about the way that it looked. And it was like, that's a shoot, brother. Like you gotta make a game time call in there. But I definitely agree where you're like, how are we going to make this, as realistic as possible while we're protecting the performers, but also making sure that we're not, and I don't want to say overreacting because I don't think that's the right phrase, but it's the concept, right? The idea of how are we going to
properly reacting.
Exactly, right. How are we approaching all of these situations in an effective way where it's not ruining is a loose phrase, but like hurting the product, right?
Yeah.
But I know there's also been some discourse as well about the Darby Allin spot with Powerhouse Hobbs and Pod Squad. You have to let me know who the other performer was in that, but I don't know if you've seen that where they swung and they took him by his arms and his feet and they swung him and they threw him in the air and he did this spin and he landed really ugly on the ropes. And I saw some discourse about that and it's like, everybody's like, oh, well, everybody's concerned about Carmelo Hayes and Austin Theory, but everybody's shitting on this Darby Allin spot. And it's like, that's not what's happening, guys. Everybody should be concerned about somebody taking an ugly bump, especially something that looks way more ugly than maybe potentially it is, right? Yeah. I don't, and again, every company has their own policies and processes, but did you see the Darby spot? Did you get a chance to check that out? No, that was, it was.
I have a feeling it's the same way I react to when I see a kid doing a wheelie down the middle of a busy street. It's like, I don't want to be a witness to something.
Yes.
Like
I agree.
Like during the summertime, you get these kids riding their bikes and doing wheelies down like the middle of Oregon Avenue, or not even the middle, right? Right in the pathway of cars, and you're like, Jesus Christ, I don't want to see some kid become froggered.
Right. Right. Yeah.
You know, same with Darby. I mean, sure, he's willingly taking these bumps, but, you know, maybe sometimes protect people from themselves.
Right.
You know, it's just like, ooh, you know, he can do all the bumps he wants now, but when he's 50, 60, he's going to be like, Jesus Christ, what was I doing? You know,
Right. Why did I do that?
Go have a conversation with Steve-O. See how Steve-O's doing, you know?
Yeah.
You know, what he's talking about.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, there was a delay there. You go. Go ahead. About Steve-O.
Oh, no, just like go have a conversation with like Steve-O and just see how he's feeling right now, you know? And, I mean, they're kind of coming from the same world, you know, Darby being the skateboarder and, you know, you think back to, you know, Bam Margera and the CKY stuff, you know, being a skateboarder and doing stunts and doing wacky shit. You know, go talk to those guys, see how they're doing, you know. When I started in wrestling, the vets would say, hey, you know, you might want to take it easy on that. And, you know, now that I'm 50, I'm going, God damn, they were right.
Yeah.
You know, they were right. You know, this reason why I say certain things should be, you know, take it easy on certain things. And people go, oh, you were an ECW. Yeah, that's how I got my fucking opinion.
Right. You were entitled to that opinion too. You were the extreme guy. Like that's the way it works. Talk to Taz. Talk to Mikey Whipwreck. Anybody that was in that time. I'm sure they would probably tell you the same thing. Like, Jesus Christ, yeah, I wish I would have done this differently. I wish I would have done that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Save some mileage.
Yeah.
You know, but now I didn't see the Darby bump. Not sure if I want to, but I'll check it out. But yeah, guys, just take it fucking easy. You know, but like I'm glad they're doing the ref stoppage. But you know, in the future, just let's start working in those same protocols into work situations.
Agreed. That would have been for me, like, and when I think about it, that work situation for the ref would have been something acceptable in the Darby situation. Like, I would have preferred to have seen that in the Darby situation there, where it's like a, you know, hey, we're going to just check on him real fast. And it looks, I think the ref did, if I remember correctly, but it's also like, you know, the way he landed, I mean, you watch it, it's out there. It's not pleasant, but
the neck is nothing to fuck with, man.
No, not at all, man.
I'll give you a specific instance. I was wrestling Christian in Boston. I can't remember the name of the. It wasn't the Boston Gardens, the building after the Boston Gardens. I'm wrestling Christian, and do a spot where I put him up on the top rope. I'm going to come up, like I'm going to suplex him off. And we go back and forth, punches, punch. He gets the best of me. I take the big nasty plunge bump off the second rope. And he'll come off with the high crossbody bump. But when I take that nasty plunge, I landed a little too high on my shoulders and whacked my head.
Oof.
And when I looked up at Christian, everything was like when you look at a negative, like a film negative.
Oh, shit.
Everything went, like, for a split second, everything went, whoop, whoop. Like, just, I stood up, we finished the match, and we get to the back, I just fucking found a wall and sat on my ass. And he came over, Christian came right over to check on me.
Yeah.
You okay? And I didn't answer him for a bit because I was trying to, come to, so to speak.
Wow.
But, and that happened once. That happened with Kurt Angle. We were doing the Funkin' Dojos at the warehouse. Same spot, and that's why I kind of did away with it. If it happened once, okay, that's an accident. Second time, I should probably stop doing that fucking spot. The second time was with Christian. First time was with Kurt, and I did the fucking bump and landed high on my shoulders and whacked my head, and he went to do a crossbody on me, and just fucking, it was like Wile E. Coyote hitting a wall. Because I didn't think to sell the fucking high cross. He just kind of went, hit me and fucking bounced off,
Yeah.
And Marty Funk was kind enough to say that footage disappeared.
Oh, that's good.
So to speak. Yeah, that was the one match where, like, we had like a little bit of a hiccup. But
yeah.
Out of the 4 or 5 days we were there, but Yeah, it happens. I've been there. I've been in those situations. It's scary, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have to be protected from yourself, you know.
You know, Meanie,
What's that, Adam?
we hear this a lot. Every CBD company tells you that their product is the best. With quality control measures like lab testing and QR codes now becoming the standard, it can start to seem like all CBD brands are the same, but I'm here to tell you something, Meanie. They are not. Knowing what makes certain brands better will help you spend your money more wisely and have more confidence as you incorporate CBD oils, topicals, capsules, or gummies into your own wellness routine. And that's why we're proud to partner with Green Road CBD as an official sponsor of Mind of the Meanie. And Meanie, I know you're a longtime user of Green Road CBD. How has Green Road CBD helped you in your life?
Let me tell you, Green Road CBD is a product I've been using for years. And when we started Mind and Meanie, I always was like, let's get Green Roads as a sponsor because I use them almost daily. Whether it's the gummies, you know, to take care of the aches and pains of 30 years of wrestling, the topical solutions that help my knees, help my back, help my elbows, help my shoulders. Green Road CBD has done everything to help me maintain a pain-free existence from all the years of wear and tear as a professional wrestler.
And to me, Meanie, that sounds like the Green Road's difference. And it comes down to a really few important points. They're just part of the reason that they've won industry awards year after year, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and have heard countless stories from customers just like you about the impact that those products have had on your life. So Green Roads is led by a compounding pharmacist with 25 years of experience helping her community getting healthy. For her and the entire company, it's more than just a job, it's a mission. And not all hemp sourcing is equal, Meanie. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. But they select their hemp from high-quality American farms, and also not all lab testing is equal, which is why they use an accredited independent lab to conduct full panel tests on every single batch. And that's why Green Roads is an original manufacturer, not just a quote-unquote white label brand. So right now, you can go to greenroads.com, Meanie, and save 25% off of your entire purchase. Wow. 25% off of everything, Meanie. That's huge. And all you have to do is go to their website right now, greenroads.com, and use promo code MEANIE at checkout. It's 25% off your entire purchase by using promo code MEANIE at greenroads.com. Own the day with Green Road CBD, and we thank them for sponsoring the program. I can tell you from personal experience, I know that after even talking to Novak and Bam about some of the stunts that they did, and I haven't, to be clear, I haven't seen Bam in probably 7 years in person. I haven't spoken to him in that time either. But even back then, I mean, he's 44 now, so he was, in his mid-30s then. Just watching him getting, when he would get up in the morning, we would come over early and he'd be getting up and walking down, and he's walking like an old man, he's walking like he's 70 or 80 years old. That does a significant toll to your body. Ask Knoxville. Like, they're all going through those same processes right now.
Yes.
And the other one, the name that popped into my brain as you were mentioning, was Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is, I think, younger than me. I'm 38. I think Will's 36. And he's already saying, he's like, in more than less words, maybe I shouldn't have gone as crazy as I should have, because now my body is reacting like this. And it's
Kenny
like
Omega.
Kenny Omega. That's what I'm saying. Like that,
Yeah.
Those styles are, they do damage. They do a number on your body, and you have to kind of mitigate. And like you said, I think that's a great point is, sometimes you have to be protected from yourself. But, best wishes to Giovanni Vinci and Austin Theory and Carmelo Hayes and Darby Allin. Like, we hope everybody's good. We hope there's no long-term injuries or any long-term shit.
Yeah. Thank you to Vanessa Bello, the Fleet Center.
Yes.
In Boston. That's where I wrestled Christian. And the cool thing, like, I was traveling with Christian around that time, too. We got there early. We watched the hockey game, and then, like, in between, they set up the ring and all that stuff. We got there, like, super early, and then wrestled each other, and that happened. I was all right, but
right.
Still, I was just like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Just
looking at a negative like that, that's some scary shit. That is a specific reference that I understand, then thinking about my vision being like that, I was like, holy shit, that is terrifying. So,
and what Travis says, the more I see crazy bumps, the less they mean to me. And that you run the the risk of desensitizing the audience.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, dude, excuse me. When I was a kid, the craziest thing I had seen was Jimmy Snuka attack Don Morocco by running and doing basically a dive over the top rope to the floor and ripping his clothes off. And that, to me, that was the craziest thing this is 1983. Don Morocco was on Buddy Rogers' corner.
Yeah.
Before Piper's Pit, there was Rogers' corner. And Rogers interviewed Don Morocco. And they set it up to where during Morocco's interview, Snuka just walks out to go to the ring for his match, and the crowd's popping, and he's like, "Oh, how dare you come out on mine?" And Morocco always had like that crazy, wild Jim Belushi type character. He just like, and he goes up and he starts motherfucking Snuka from ringside. I think he spit at Snuka.
Oh, shit.
Snuka looked down and went, "Oh, all right." And like hit the opposite ropes and then ran and did a dive. And just tore his clothes off. I just beat him up, tore his clothes off. And to me, that was the craziest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's every fucking match.
Yeah, dude.
It's just like,
yeah.
goddamn. The most challenge, I get it would be a challenge for a lot of guys today to stay in the fucking ring.
Mm-hmm.
Not one bump to the outside. Just keep it all in the ring.
Just it's like I have to agree with that. There was a clip that they showed the other day on Twitter. It was the Canadian Destroyers. Is that what they call the move? The backflip and the head, like the inverted flip.
The forward flip into the pile driver?
Yeah. There was a whole clip where there was a dance, like it was like 3 or 4 Canadian Destroyers in a row, and no one was selling it, and it was just like, guys. And again, I want to be clear, like I'm not shitting on anybody, right? I'm just talking about the performance of what I'm watching. It's like, what's the point for me as a fan who wants to be entertained? Like I don't find this entertaining in wrestling, right? If this was a different performance, maybe I would find that impressive. But like, I don't know. I feel like you should sell this movie. Like, if you're on the outside of the ring and Bad Bunny's giving it to John Morrison, you're going to sell it like it's fucking crazy. But you're doing 3 or 4 in the ring at the same time. It's like, I don't know. It's like, okay, what's the next thing?
And it goes back to my point of if you're going to have a ref stoppage for a regular back bump where a guy bumped his head.
Yeah.
What's a fucking a Canadian Destroyer should be way worse than that, right?
Yeah.
There should be a ref stop. Hey, have a ref stoppage on a Canadian Destroyer.
Yeah.
Let's condition the fans to say, hey, these moves mean something.
Mm-hmm. Well,
to the point where if someone, well, here's the thing. It's like, with the super kick.
Yeah, God.
Or the DDT. Yeah, more specific. Let me go to the DDT because Jake just like, well, these guys are doing DDTs and people are kicking out. This makes my DDT look that much more promising, right?
Yeah.
Like your DDT must be weak as shit if people are kicking out.
Yeah.
Have WWE have somebody hit a Canadian Destroyer and have a ref stoppage.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see 80 of them somewhere on the indie show and they go, oh, that guy must be fucking weak as hell. People are kicking out his fucking Canadian Destroyer,
Yeah.
You can condition the fans to start, back in the day, if somebody put somebody in a submission, just go, you want to give up? Okay, ring the bell.
Yep.
But then pro wrestling developed the tap out.
Yes.
From MMA. Now that WWE's in that same universe with UFC, start adapting something with ref stoppages.
Mm-hmm.
Canadian Destroyer, have the ref check on him, ring the bell.
Yeah.
He's knocked out. Right?
Yeah.
And there are people like, oh, how dare you? That's disgusting. No, it's adding realism to the product.
Right.
Where protect your product. WWE can start protecting their product and make it more realistic with these ref stoppages where they can, when they start doing them for work, they're less confused when somebody really gets hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's my idea.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great point. But I also, if you may entertain me for a moment, sir, I believe that I also have a great idea in the form of a question.
Oh, what's that?
Are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to. It's time to ask me anything. Ask me something.
Yo, cause.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Don't forget. That's what you do after you drink a Pabst Blue Ribbon is you give them one of these. Don't forget to tweet us your questions using the hashtag.
You don't want to be anywhere in my fucking radius.
After a night of PBR and I'm fucking hammered drunk, the next morning, good grief, man. Stay far away. That doesn't work for me, brother. Stay away. Clear the space. It's going to be at least an hour and a half while I'm in the bathroom. Those PBR shits are nothing to fuck with. But what is something to fuck with is this segment here. Because it's my
farts.
favorite segment we do on the show. Don't forget to tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie, and we may hear them, or you may hear them on the show when we ask. We're making good on this question from last week from Pod Squad member Vanessa Bello.
Hello, Vanessa.
Kevin Dunn was often considered controversial in his often dizzying camera work techniques, whether it was the quick cuts, the sudden zooms, or the quick back and forth pans when the talents struck each other repeatedly. Did these wild techniques hurt or help the overall presentation of the WWE product? And Meanie, before we answer that, I want to see if you had a seltzer with you today.
I do. Like I said, I brought up 2 fucking cases, so I didn't forget. I can't forget. Ooh, I shouldn't shake that, should I? But
he's got.
Like I said, I'm going to be riding this one for the next couple of weeks. The Bellevue pumpkin pie.
Attaboy.
Seltzer.
I got a giant bottle at Royal Farms today. It's the orange mango flavor, which is the superior flavor of all flavors over there. It's the sparkling beverage, which is fucking fantastic. We're going to crack.
They have good fried chicken, too.
They have fantastic fried chicken, man. When I want to stop and I'm feeling squirrely, I'll get a breakfast sandwich with their fried chicken, egg and cheese, bro. Yeah. Throw some hot sauce on that bitch. We are in fucking business. We're going to crack these Johns here. 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah. That was Oh, yeah. That was a nice sizzly fart you talk about. You know, that little.
Like you're launching a space shuttle.
The fizz went up my nose.
It's like watching a dog take a shit in the snow. You see that little steam come out before.
The devil
like
just
when you're
floating out.
Yeah. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Instead of NASA, it's ASA.
I have found that those farts, particularly the quietest ones, or it's just real subtle. It's like a. Those are the worst smelling ones ever. Like, and you're just them, fuck, man. You're just like, fuck. I can't get the smell out of my car.
I call them paint peelers. Yeah. Since we talked about George Carlin, Carlin said he would always say the kind of fart that would end a marriage.
It's true.
Which fucking just assassinated me with those words because I automatically got the visual of a guy farting, his wife grabbing 2 suitcases and walking out the door.
It's too much. I'm done. I can't deal with the smell.
She says no, nothing. You just hear. She goes, grabs the suitcases, walks out the door, never to be seen again.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah. So let's see where we're. So did Kevin Dunn's wild techniques hurt or help the overall presentation of the WWE product? Question from Vanessa Bello.
A little inside baseball, but those camera creations were not of Kevin Dunn. Those were of a producer named Marty Miller.
Interesting.
Marty used to be a camera guy. Marty's from Philly. And familiar with Marty. You know, we shared plenty of flights. And he used to shoot Phillies games as a cameraman. But he worked his way up through WWE production. And the reason why I know it's Marty, because I've heard somebody make reference to it in an interview. Where I don't know if they meant to say it or they're like, his initials are MM. I'm like, oh, Marty Miller. All right. So, and the reason why, and here's why they do it, right? We're in the age of 4K video.
Right.
HD cameras, 4K, whatever. And they're going to catch a lot of stuff that you probably don't want them to catch, like a missed punch. Like, the cameras are so good now that if somebody throws a punch, it misses.
Yeah.
You're going to see that daylight between the fist and the face. So if you do a quick, like, cut, it takes out the possibility of exposing the work. I don't want to say exposing the business. We all know it's a work, but there's still magic tricks that we do to make people believe, to take people out, put down their guard and suspend their disbelief. People have known wrestling's been to work since the 40s.
Right.
But it's what we do in the ring that helps make them forget.
Right.
And brings them into the illusion. So with the better technology and the better cameras, if somebody throws a drop kick and it doesn't make 100% contact, or somebody throws a kick and it doesn't really land as well as it should have, these cameras are going to pick it up. And now with DVRs, you get super slow-mo and this, that, and the other thing. So if you go to do a cut, like a super cut away, it takes away that chance that you're going to see something not land and take people out of the illusion.
Right.
And, Marty started doing that. And, now that Kevin's gone, and if Marty's still there, I don't see it going away anytime soon.
No. I think they might try some new and different techniques, but I don't think they're going to deviate from what, for all intents and purposes, seems to work.
In wrestling, I was taught, the term is daylight. Like if you're pinning somebody, pin them, get on top of them. Don't have any daylight between you and your opponent. If you throw a punch, keep it tight. You don't want to see daylight between your fist and their face.
Right.
If you're throwing a drop kick, try to land it the best you can. You don't want any daylight between your feet and the body. You know? Fucking Jesus Christ, John Stossel, when he was doing this expose, he was showing drop kicks not, landing and stuff like that. And that was with that footage. That was that with that technology.
Right.
Now with today's technology, you could pretty much catch a lot of daylight, so to speak.
RJ Krasinski, what's up, RJ? What's going on, dude?
What up, RJ? Good luck to your bills, sir.
Would you rather?
Like I said, well.
Yep.
We're recording Saturday. They play this weekend, so I'm not being sarcastic in case something happens that goes against them.
Yeah.
Let me say that I like the Bills. I like except for when they play the Eagles. They're in the AFC, so they don't. They're in the AFC, so their standings doesn't affect the Eagles, but. I do like the Bills. I like Buffalo. Like I said, going back to my ECW days.
Yep.
Fell in love with Buffalo. And
attaboy.
So there you go. My apologies. I'm a fucking slob.
Hey, man. Hey, we all have those. We all, I sit here and try to quietly belch when I'm doing my ad reads, and I don't know, if you catch me, my nostrils flare, and I try to push it out the side of my mouth. But sometimes the smell is so bad, or the carbonation is so much that it catches me. So yeah, dude, you have nothing to apologize. I literally sit here in the chair and fart and make sure you try not to hear it. So I'm it's not on air, Carl's like, Jesus Christ, man, I heard that. You got to stop. I can't cut that out.
Lost control of my body. Jesus. Had an exorcism. Where were we? Holy shit.
Oh, RJ's question. Would you rather play football in a rainstorm or a snowstorm?
Oh, that's the question?
That is the question.
I thought there was going to be a or.
Would you rather play football in a rainstorm or a snowstorm?
I would think maybe snowstorm because, one of my favorite all-time Eagles games was Eagles Detroit from 2015 maybe. It was like a perfect day out, and then all of a sudden there's 2 feet of snow on the ground. But like the players were saying, they were getting tackled and they were hitting the ground. It was so soft, just
Yeah.
I would think. Now look, if I had a choice in everyday life between rain and snow, I'm choosing rain
Every time.
You don't have to shovel rain. I like snow when I was a kid, and it got me out of fucking school. But, as an adult, I still have to do adult shit in the snow.
Yes.
So I'll pick rain every day of the week. But if you're asking me about playing football, I would say snow, just because, it would be fun. Like some of my favorite games have been, watching the NFL have been in snow games, So I would definitely say snow. Great question, too, by the way.
Matt from Dover wants to know, hey, Meanie, with A.J. Brown out, do you think the Eagles have a chance?
I don't know, man. If they stick to the run game, I say yes. The Eagles need to run the fucking ball. Again, actually, this drops the morning of the game, so
yeah.
There's, we won't be outdated with this. And that was my biggest fear, his knee and stuff. He got that fucking New York Giants fucking turf is taking out more people than Saving Private Ryan. Like, Jesus fucker. Then the opening sequence of Saving Private Ryan. Fuck.
Yeah, seriously.
There's that video of that guy from the Jets just in the 3-point stance, and you see his fucking Achilles just explode and roll up his fucking leg.
God.
And he didn't even do anything.
Ugh.
What the fuck is that turf made of? Their turf makes the fucking Vance Stadium turf look like a fucking bouncy castle.
Seriously.
Like a lot of players have been hurt on that turf, and AJ's just been another victim of it, just Swift's in, Smitty's in. If they run the ball, they got to run the fucking ball. And not for nothing, supposedly the weather's going to be really bad. Like over 90% chance of rain.
Oh, God. It's going to be a shit show.
Yeah, so you definitely want to run the ball. Even though I've heard the theory from NFL players that they like the pass in the rain because the receiver knows their route. The defender doesn't. So if the receiver can run a certain route in the rain and make the defender slip, it works to their advantage. But then again, Jalen Hurts had his finger on his throwing hand dislocated. If you watch that fucking horrific Giants game they fucking played last week, he threw a pass and it was bad. It was bad. It happened to me. Like, this is why my hand is like permanently like that instead of this. This fucking popped out of socket. But yeah. If the Eagles run the ball, I think they'll be all right. Yeah. Baker Mayfield's pretty banged up too. But if they make it to the second round against San Fran, it's probably curtains. Because they're just so. Who do you have on defense? There's nobody on defense. Everybody fucking. Sidney Brown just tore his ACL.
Yeah.
He's out. It's just like, fuck. They're just decimated. If the offense was clicking, it's like, here's two things. The offense isn't clicking because the defense can't get off the field.
Right.
And the defense can't get off the field because they're so tired because the offense isn't clicking. The offense, like, I hate that the fucking Eagles defer every coin flip,
Oh, God,
I would rather I would love the Eagles to take the ball first quarter and do a nice, long, drawn-out drive to find a rhythm.
Right.
And, have the the opposing team's defense worn out by the time they score a first touchdown,
Right.
Instead of deferring and then our defense goes out there, the opposite team does a nice long sustained drive against our defense. So by the time our offense gets out there and tries to find a rhythm,
Yeah.
It's like a 3 and out. And then, our defense comes back out and they're fucking tired because they just had a nice long fucking drive put against them.
Yeah.
If you win the coin flip Eagles, please just take the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Just take the fucking ball and do a nice long fucking drive.
Our last question for this week, our friend Primetime Grape with the new name Juice 1024. How much extra damage to an opponent do you think would happen if you let out a rip snorter of a booty tootie during the descent of a meanie salt?
I don't know if I would even land the meanie salt because the fart would throw off my trajectory and I might hit the opposite turnbuckle. I might fart myself into a tree of woe. Like Kevin Sullivan used to do back in the day. But yeah, that's a good question.
Fart yourself right into a chute, sir. And we want to say
I've definitely farted, like when I was training with Al. He had like these super high ceilings. It was an old Masonic temple, and our gym was in the auditorium where it was a Masons hall, like Freemasons. And they had this, his gym kind of looked like a mini version of the Manhattan Center.
Mm.
And high ceilings with these big fucking fans that look like helicopter fucking blades. And one time, I'm sitting ringside. Goddamn. I'm sitting ringside in a chair, and I'm watching Al climb the top rope, and I fucking do the one cheek sneak. I lift up and go. And as Al's climbing the top rope, you see him go like, and he fucking slowly climbed back down.
Oh my God.
Or there would be a time where like we're all in the ring and we're practicing. I would, being standing in one corner, I would go and then do the Rick Steiner jog around the ring.
Dragon tail. Yep.
Oh yeah. You see everybody fucking diving out like they're fucking diving into a pool. Just like,
Love it.
Only thing missing is a bunch of swim caps,
Swim caps and some floaties. Yep. And then I'm out. That's it. Oh my God. I can't even imagine, man. Well, I guess with the fan just pulling up everything is just making it 10 times worse. Yeah.
He was just like, oh. You see it happen in real time. It's just like,
yeah, you can see it's just like the moment before it's just etched into your brain because now their face is contorted and there's no going back, man. No walking that back.
The cartoon Pepe Le Pew, when you see the fucking vapors coming off him and stuff like that, it's like just wafting up his nose, and destroying his nasal cavities. I was young too, man. I had some good young guy farts.
Oh man, I'm telling you, dude. I would say my farts have gotten worse since I've gotten older. Like my farts have always been like pretty gnarly, but they've gotten progressively worse since I've been older. So,
dude, it's like now that I'm 50, I'm getting the walking farts. Like I'm like walking. I'm like I look to see who's behind me. I'm like, really?
Oh,
did I just scare myself? It's like it just fall out. My mom would be walking around. My mom would be walking across the living room and hear, Ma. Ooh, was that me? Ooh, Brian, I shot a bunny.
Yep.
Wherever that meant.
Whatever why are you shooting bunnies and why do they sound like that?
Yeah.
Patsy used to do that. My grandmother. I think I told you that story before. We were all over there for one of the Christmas parties at my Uncle Al's house. And he had like a seating area over here, and then the dining room, and then there was another separate room, like a first living room. And I guess she didn't think anybody was in, like a bunch of us were sitting in the living room, and she walked into the dining room, and I swear to God, dude, she tilted over to the left and brought her right foot up off the floor and let one go that was very much like that, but it was like hefty. You know what I mean? It was like bubbly, and it was like, and it was a loud fart. And we all just like, she came out in the other room. We're all just like staring at her. She's like, oh, that just slipped out. We're like, no, it didn't. We watched you lift your fucking leg. That did not slip out. That was not a slip. That was
shoved.
That was a 45-second fucking Evinrude sound. That did not slip. That was forced. Like, I could hear you grunting while you let that one go.
I saw you contemplating. Jesus Christ.
You were just thinking about all life's decisions while you let that one go. So, but yeah, that was a unique time. But I want to thank you, sir, for answering any questions. Oh, actually, Vanessa's got one more question. We do have time for one more question if you do.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts, sir, on the UFO series?
Oh, yeah. TMZ put out a new 3-part series called UFO Revolution on Tubi. And it is probably one of the better UFO documentaries I've seen. As we're speaking yesterday, they had a secret hearing in a skiff between 16 senators and the head of the Intelligence Committee, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm screwing up a little bit.
No, you're okay.
And, everybody who came out of that meeting, both Democrat, Republican, said, we had 10 questions. Now, those 10 questions, he said, there's some things they didn't know, but like 6 of those questions are things we've heard about. So it just further legitimized everything that came out in the hearing in July with David Grush, with Ryan Graves and David Fravor, who testified about seeing these things. But back to the special. The 3-part series on Tubi. That's absolutely free. Costs you nothing to watch it. The only thing that sucks is commercials, but
yeah.
What are you going to do? It's perfect because you don't have to be an expert to watch it.
Oh, that's cool.
Like they, if you're familiar with the subject, you're like, oh, they're talking about this guy. Yeah, but this isn't for like I say, what wrestling is. This isn't for the smart marks.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the casual viewer because they have to explain these things to people who might not know,
right,
as much as we do. I've been following this daily. I've been following my whole life, but like it's just 2017 things start ramping up.
Yeah,
with the New York Times article, stuff like that, and the videos coming out. But yeah, this 3-parter. UFO Revolution on Tubi. 3 1-hour episodes, easy watch. It's balanced too because they go into the hearings that happened in Mexico, where Ryan Graves, who was an he was an Air Force pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our top pilots who has seen these things. He was invited down there, and then all of a sudden the Mexican government brings out these things that they say are bodies, and it was just a complete shit show. You see the embarrassment on his face when they do this, and he's just like, and people want to take photos. He's like, I'm not going anywhere near those fucking bodies. Not in that language. He's like, I'll take a photo anywhere but in this room right now.
Right.
You just see his embarrassment because, he's trying to present it in a serious manner, and then they pull this fucking stunt.
Mm-mm.
So it's cool that they show what happened and call bullshit on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where another series would have been like, oh my God, look at these. No, they're like, yeah, this is bullshit.
Right.
So there's a balance between stuff that's unexplainable and stuff that's clearly bullshit. So it's a fairly balanced documentary. And they brought out a lot of the people I've been following. Richard Dolan and George Knapp and a whole bunch of other folks that are experts in this field. Definitely recommend it if you're into UFOs like myself. Go on YouTube, type in UFO, and do your search. Refine your search to this week, and it's just with this hearing that's been going on. It's crazy. Just like how close I think we're getting to something.
Yeah,
because there's a belief out there that there's another country that's looking to come out with disclosure about what's been going on.
No shit.
And I think, and the word is that the U.S. government wants to get ahead of them on this announcement, because people live in a bubble sometimes. They think something. If you're an American, you think this is just happening in America. This is happening all over the world.
Right. It's not just exclusive to us. Right.
Yeah. Other countries are seeing this. They're experiencing this. And the belief is there's another country that's working on coming out with what the fuck's going on, which, the U.S. government doesn't want to come out because, well, with the U.S. government, there's like a secret fucking program going. That's why we're having these hearings. Right. Congress wants to find out where this money's going to. The Pentagon hasn't been able to pass an audit. So where's this extra money going to? Right. As these programs. And, watch the special. I don't want to, go and watch it with your own fresh set of eyes and watch it and soak it in, because I think this year we're gonna learn a lot of shit. Yeah. Look, I'm not an expert, but I follow people who are more of an expert than me, and it looks like we're getting closer and closer to more shit coming out. And the fear is, if you start talking about it, there might be a certain shock level that we don't know if people can handle.
Well, right. That's the question that I always have is, like, for me, it's like, what's the big fucking deal? It's like, why are we, if you have all this information and you're aware of these things and you know that it's happening, like, why not just fucking say it? Why not just come out and just get ahead of the curve and be like, yep, this is what we have and this is what we found. And, I think, like you said, I think the idea of extraterrestrials has been vilified in theater and entertainment and things like that. So people are already freaked out,
Yeah, my theory is that Hollywood's been trying to prepare us and trying to prep us. For instance, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, that movie, there's a character in that movie who's a French researcher that's loosely based on UFO researcher Jacques Vallée. Well, the real life Jacques Vallée's in that movie as an extra.
Oh, no shit.
A lot of that stuff's based on stuff that's really happened.
Wow.
Project Blue Book type shit.
Wow.
And I just watched that Netflix documentary on Steven Spielberg. There was the school in South Africa where Spielberg, first told people about, what was going on, the whole thing with the school children having an encounter with a UFO and aliens and stuff like that. So,
right.
I think Hollywood's been preparing us for it, but there's a lot of theories that if they're true, I don't know if Americans or humans are ready for them if they're true. So,
well, I want to say that I'm ready to let you know, sir, because this is true, that I appreciate you doing this show with me every week and answering these questions we get from our listeners and our pod squad. Again, as a reminder, don't forget to tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie, and you may hear them on the show. As we said as well, don't forget, next week is our 200th episode. So we hope that you will tune in and listen and check it out. Lots of great surprises for you coming up. Additionally, Meanie, as of right now, as I announced on my Twitter, I have been accepted again to cover the Royal Rumble in Tampa, Florida this year. So I will be doing, I believe, our 201st episode live and direct from Florida. So I will give more information as we get closer. Just have to make sure I can take my fucking roadcaster with me onto the airplane, which I'm pretty sure I can. As long as I can fit it in the overhead compartment, it's going with me. So we will do a show live and direct from there. But Meanie, I want to thank you again for doing the program.
Thank you.
And I want to just let everybody know where they can stay up to date with all things blue when we're not listening to the show.
Yeah. Well, first of all, mark off Thursday, April 4th on your calendar, the Meanie party at McCusker's. It's going to be a nice way to kick off your WrestleMania week if you're in the Philadelphia area. It costs nothing to attend. Yep. Come on out. Let's have a couple beers together and kick off your Mania week at McCusker's Thursday, April 4th. More details to come. But if you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, that's at Blue Meanie, BWO, on all forms of social media. To support the Blue Meanie, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Blue Meanie. Go on there. I got the new Meanie Mania t-shirt in the design of the current WrestleMania 40 logo. Nice parody, so don't sue me, but go to prowrestlingtees.com/Blue Meanie. Support Mind of the Meanie. Go to prowrestlingtees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Go over there and get a nice little logo shirt designed by Hal Haney. Such great artwork over there at prowrestlingtees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand. Go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Use coupon code Meanie, or you could use coupon code MIND and save 10% over there at collarandelbowbrand.com. Shout out to Rod Hicks and Al Snow doing fantastic work over at collarandelbowbrand.com. Now that you have all your great looking wrestling shirts, and if you're a bearded fellow like myself and you want to look good but smell good, go to madcapbeardcare.com. Get yourself the Blue Spruce Beard Oil and Balm. Shout out to my boy Josh Thornton, doing an amazing job over there. He rounds up all the cats in this neighborhood. He takes them to the vet, gets them back, he nurses them back to health, and makes them feel good. So if you're a cat lover like myself, go over to madcapbeardcare.com. Get the Blue Spruce Beard Oil and Balm. The Ultra Pro Wrestling video game coming to all major consoles in late 2024. Ultra Pro Wrestling contains not only original characters created by the amazing Hal Haney, but many real-world wrestlers, including myself and many others. I'm trying not to spoil because I just learned about a whole bunch of other ones that haven't been announced, and my mind continues to be blown by the work they're doing over there at Ultra Pro Wrestling. To learn more, go to ultraprowrestling.com. Or go follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game. That's ultraprowrestling.com or UPW Video Game on the Twitter. The Figure Collections Bone Crushing Series Wrestlers variants. Let me start that over. The Figure Collections Bone Crushing Wrestlers Series 1 variants of the Blue Meanie are available now. But for how much longer, I do not know. All Series 1s can be ordered right now, for now, at shop.figurecollections.com. That's shop.figurescollections.com. They're close to selling out. I think the BWO one has sold out. The OG might be still available as of this recording, but definitely check them out before they're gone. Shout out to Jim Nelson over at glaciersofice.com. Jim made a 3 of 3 handmade BWO custom Air Jordan 1 sneakers for Stevie, Nova, and myself. Each pair takes Jim about 50 hours per pair. So if you want to see these wonderful pieces of art for your feet, go to all forms of social media at GOI Kicks. That's GOI Kicks. See these awesome looking sneakers. To have the Blue Meanie on your podcast, go to podstars.net. That's PODSTARZ.net. podsquad.net. Register your podcast, and then you can book me to be on your show at podstars.net. Cameo.com/BlueMeanieBWO for birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. Let's make somebody's day a little bit brighter over there. Cameo.com/BWO. Cameo.com/BlueMeanieBWO. Book through the website. Don't book through the app. The app takes like 20% or something like that. It's ridiculous how much money they take and not give it to the talent that you think you're spending. So go to cameo.com/BlueMeanieBWO and book through the site today. But most importantly, Mr. Barnard, where can we find you, sir?
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky, because I got to start using Blue Sky a little bit more, and maybe Threads too. Twitter's a fucking hellscape. You can find me there at This Is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. So follow me there and stay up to date with all things Goober. You can also listen to my show, Foundation Radio, by going to foundationradio.net. Got a couple of great episodes coming up. Not only my follow-ups at the Royal Rumble, but I got guests including Andreas Hale and Mega Ran. So don't forget to tune in and listen. Foundationradio.net. Go to brothersgaddor.com and pick up your very own Adam Barnard Wrestle Buddy. There are only very limited quantities left. You can go and pick one up. And you can also pick up the blue guy on top of that. You can pick up your Blue Meanie Wrestle Buddy. And then Meanie, as you're aware, your favorite podcast host together, you get a two-pack. That's right, two-pack of your favorite podcast host, the Mind of the Meanie two-pack deal, by going to brothersgaddor.com. Go to the Feinberg method. Use promo code Goober and save 20% off of your entire purchase. My trainer, Brad Feinberg, is ready to help you with not just your physical, but mental well-being. So go to the Feinberg method.com. Shout out to the homies at the 10th Ward Barbershop in downtown Lawrenceville on the outskirts of Pittsburgh. Don't forget to go over there and for all of your hair and beard needs, tell Kane that Goober sent you and schedule your appointment today at 10th Ward Barbershop.com. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie, ProWrestlingTees.com/Foundation Radio. Pick up a shirt and help keep the lights on at the Casa DeMeanie and the Barnard Home for Wayward and Troubled Youth. Don't forget, we're also officially a brand partner with the WWE Shop. So inside of our show notes going forward, you will find our exclusive link to pick up your brand new WWE swag and merchandise to wear to all the shows. So you'll see that in the show notes going forward. You also find that on all of our Twitter accounts for the program and our personal ones as well. Don't forget to go to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie and sign up to become a part of the Pod Squad today. Tiers start at just $10 a month. We want to thank our sponsors, Manscaped and Green Road CBD, for sponsoring the program today. And we want to thank you for listening.
You.
And remember to rate us, subscribe on YouTube, like, comment, and share the show, and also leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen. We want to thank you again, Pod Squad. Thank you for being here while we record today. And for the Blue Meanie, I am Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind.
Blue World Order.
The Meanie. Peace.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie is hosted and executively produced by the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard. It was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional narration is provided by the executive voice, Sam Krebs. That's me. Our intro music was performed by the Swamp Candles. Our outro music was performed by Chikara. Additional musical accompaniment is performed by Enrichment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, or X or whatever, at Mind of the Meanie, and become part of the Pod Squad by going to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Find our entire show archive at mindofthemeanie.com. This has been a Butts Carlton media production. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
That was Blue Meanie's brain out.